Hello there, my dear kings and queens of the zodiac Leos. This is your horoscope for March 2024. Now, I should tell that March is a very positive month on a general note, and especially by the end of the March, you're gonna love the news that that planet's gonna bring in March for you, my dear Leos. And there will be for the first half of the month two planets that will be in disagreement so might be bringing some tension. Otherwise, all other planets will be working hard to bring March spectacular way, in a positive way. Now let's begin with your March forecast. And my dear Leos, don't forget your sun sign, of course, Leos, but usually horoscopes are written for ascendants. Did you know that? Like your rising sign. Usually they more reflect like your life events in terms of like more your rising sign. But nonetheless, just go ahead and listen your moon sign and rising sign too, and sun sign. These three signs. Each of us, we consist of three signs, not just one. As in general, we used to think, so people are born at night by the sunrise, so it might be a rising or moon sign that more like affecting you, influencing your life. So just check it out, all your three signs, because all three will be bringing all sorts of events and messages from the planets. And planets in general, they tell stories, they tell when you look at the chart, they are also like a people. Sometimes they argue, sometimes they are super sweet with each other, sometimes, they are, competing with each other and actually giving you opportunities. And that's how actually our behavior is reflected in our lives. Now, let me tell you a story for you, what planets are telling me. Now, March will begin with North Node meeting up with Chiron. This is pretty rare conjunction. This is very rare aspect. That's why I'm telling you about this aspect, because North Node is in astrology, other way to call it, it's a dragon head. And there is a South Node also, it's a dragon tail. And I would like to actually speak more about dragons, because this is a dragon year. Last month there was a Chinese New Year, and according to Eastern calendar, it's a dragon year, my dear Leos. And this North Node will be very important, and South Node too. There are two nodes, they're called lunar nodes, and they are always opposite to each other in your chart. And this is not a planet, nothing that you can see like on the sky. It's a mathematical point that is calculated in your natal chart automatically. If you go on Google and draw up your chart by putting up your date of birth, time of birth, time should be precise, my dears. That's very important, very vital, and your place of birth. And check where is your North Node, because North Node, it shows where you should be moving and where in general your life is taking you to, where you headed to, where is your destiny. You're gonna meet your destiny. And South Node is our past. It is something that we should be releasing, that we should be leaving behind, and sometimes transform ourselves so that we are aware about our South Node themes, topics, and we are willingly, voluntarily leaving it behind, so that we have the power to do so. And South Node also shows maybe even who you've been in your past life as well. So check your lunar nodes. Where are they in your natal chart? In which signs, zodiac signs, and then you can check up the interpretation. If you can't, just leave me a message. I will try my best for you. Now, this North Node, as I said, aka dragon head, and this, as I said, that they are opposite to each other, north node and south node. And this line is called destiny line in astrology. And your north node, the dragon head, will be meeting up with Chiron. Now, Chiron is an asteroid, and Chiron is believed to be in ancient, like in Greek mythology, mythical creature, half horse, half human. And they are, how to say, conjunction is pretty rare. Last time they met in 2008, and it was in a different sign. Now they are meeting in your ninth house after so many years. Chiron, this asteroid, takes roughly 50 years to make a full circle around the zodiac wheel, and it spends roughly also 4 years in each zodiac sign. And they are conjunction, that's why it's pretty rare. And it's gonna be special. But this aspect was already at play since February. And, you know, since they start, how to say, coming close to each other since February, and it will last until May, up until May, even April. So these 3 months, February, March, and April, you will be feeling their conjunction. You might already start feeling. I will tell you the topics it might be touching upon in your life, and what kind of messages it might be bringing to you. But the exact their meetup, like handshake, close proximity, will be on 5th of March, where we will be all feeling this conjunction the most. Now, this conjunction will happen in your ninth house, and it will be meeting up in a sign, zodiac sign, so compatible to yours, to actually electrify your life, my dear Leos. And ninth house is the house of travel. Now, I will list a few areas of life that might, you know, this conjunction might bring to your attention during these 3 months the most, but only 1 or 2 might happen, but not all of them. I hope I'm clear on that. Okay, first is the travel. Ninth house is the travel house. And it might be that you will be learning something profound through travel. Why I'm saying learning? Because Chiron, this asteroid, in mythology, he's a teacher, is a healer in ancient Greek mythology, and he taught and he healed wounds. That's why it's a great healer, sometimes it's called. And when it's coming to your ninth house, you might be learning quite a lot of things during your travels. Something, and most probably is about something about life, because ninth house is the house of search for the life meaning, you know, meaning of the life. And Chiron here is indicating you might be finding actually the meaning of your life, and you might be kind of shaping it for yourself, finally touching the you know, the shape of the meaning of your life. Also, it might cure your soul on some level, some traumas or some hurt that is there about your life's meaning and in general the purpose of your life. Another topic, ninth house, is education house. Now, those who are like studying or want to study, like, or graduating even, you might become a teacher. Actually, you've been maybe studying to be a teacher, any subject, or to learn something that will actually, you know, or you are just, if you are in the beginning of your journey, then it might be that you will start learning something that completely will change your life. Or you might find your life calling, like you might finally realize what you want to do, especially those who are students, you know, who are graduates, high school students, finally realize what you want to be doing with your life in terms of profession, your career. Ninth house is also house of foreign affairs, all sorts of foreign, like documents, travel documents, immigration documents. So you might be actually of some help to foreigners. You might be helping foreigners in your country to do something around this time, or they will be helping you actually in a big way. They will help you out in some kind of a big way that you will be so grateful to. If you are like if you've been waiting for your visa application outcome, then this, or immigration, citizenship applications outcome, then this visa status or citizenship applications might get actually finally some response, or also you might be renewing it at this time and finally get processed, and you can get an answer about the status of these papers that you apply for. Ninth house is also legal affairs house. If you are involved in legal battles, some legal cases ongoing, or you're just like following, or if it's concerning people around you, then at this legal cases, you might get the remedy that you, appropriate one that you wanted to get, that you wanted to achieve some kind of results, and that you wished for. Also, ninth house, like I'm thinking also it's about religion. You might find that religion or any other belief system brings you actually that joy and completeness of life, or like happiness, satisfaction, some sort, and even relief to your kind of sufferings, to your injury. It doesn't matter, mental or spiritual or physical, even or even you might decide to become a monk, let's say, or like devote yourself to this area, some sort of belief systems, religion, this kind of life you might start. Or you might be like thinking a lot about this, around this topic too. Also, ninth house is the publishing house. Now, your book that you've written or you are writing might become actually a bestseller, that if it's been already published, or it's also going to be published and become a bestseller. There is a big chance of that, like resonating, it will become bestseller in a way that it will be resonating with so many people around the world, like from different walks of life, and helping them to overcome like any hardships that they might have in their lives. Some sort of, it will be resonating with their vision of life and their traumas as well. Or if it's not you who's written the book or writing a book, and you don't have any, let's say, interest in that, you might actually read such a book that will transform your life. Or maybe it's research, not necessarily book. It also might be a research, some article on how to heal, let's say, certain illnesses or mental state illnesses, any type of healing or teaching processes, because it involves Chiron, this aspect. That's why it's an indication that you might be in this kind of process in your life. And in general, ninth house is the house of luck, is the house of happiness. So I have a feeling, my dear Leos, you will have that chance to actually mend your life if something was not going well there, like get on track, back on track something, or like actually to fix something in your life. That's an amazing, isn't it? Also, ninth house is grandchildren. If you are at that age, my Leos, for those who are older, might be that your grandchildren will be very instrumental in bringing you a joy of life, and possible like reconnecting you to some people even that you stop talking to, and your grandchildren will do that for you. They would be like a kind of a connection bridge for you. It might also happen in some sort of like they might bring a healing process to you too. And at last, ninth house is the second marriages house. Why not, my dear Leos? Maybe you will get second time, married, or you will be like thinking about it, or your second, serious partnership in your life is actually will bring the healing that first one caused. It also happens. And in general, Chiron is associated with number 2, because Chiron, as I said, is a mythical creature that is a half horse and half human. that consists of two incompatible parts. So that's why it's number 2, very different parts. And all these topics that I mentioned for you, it just, integrate their number 2. It might be 2 degrees you are getting, or 2 immigration papers, or 2 legal cases that you involved. And it might be even 2 books you publishing or reading, articles, researches. Okay, let's talk about our mind, where our mind is going to be in March. Mercury, planet of communication, planet of thoughts, planet of messages. It's our little postman of the universe. On 10th of March, will move into your same 9th house, my dear Leos, bringing all sorts of documents to sign, gather, issue, or apply, especially connected with visa, residence permit, travel documents, immigration. And for those who are interested in studying and in the study field, or in that part of their life where they are studying, then education papers will be like taking quite a lot of attention, lots of communication with universities, colleges, schools, might happen, and especially foreign universities and colleges. Or you might start, if it's not about these documents in your life, my dear Leos, then it might be about actually religion. You might start reading a Bible, for example, Bible or any other religious texts like Torah, and others, Quran. If it's not about religion, my dear Leos, for you, then some of you will start writing a research or a book, or preparing an article. Maybe you are graduating and you are writing a research, pretty intense, around this 10th of March. Or even like, defending it, because Mercury is also speaking, planet of speaking. You might be actually, talking about your research, or about your book, or sending it to your professor to proofread. Some Leos, those who are involved in legal cases, then you might be submitting all types of legal documents like court files or subpoenas or appeals. These kind of documents might be on the table too. Or contacting with travel agencies, some Leos, let's say, embassies, or simply your grandkids might be sending you lots of messages, those who have grandkids. And Mercury will be changing signs actually 10th of March, few hours right before the new moon. On the same day, 10th of March, we have new moon, but in a different house in your natal chart. That is the 8th house. And that new moon will receive an opportunity aspect from Uranus, planet of surprises, my dear Leos. That is amazing. And Uranus will situate itself in your 10th house. That's I call amazing opportunity. So it might be that new moons are all about beginnings. Something new is starting in your life, and receiving from planet of surprise an opportunity aspect. Now, it's, I think, pretty clear. You might get something all of a sudden that you will like. It might be that your partner, or now 8th house is about your spouse, your partner, your long-term sweetheart, steady sweetheart, their funds. Like, it might be that they will have an amazing news to share. Something new is starting in their life. Maybe it's a new job that is well paid, and that will you will benefit from it too. Or that will also double your shared finances, right? Or salary rise. They might get a salary raise, a position change in the same corporation that of course consequently double their salary, or even triple, let's say. And that will be a surprise, because Uranus is the planet of surprises. With Uranus, you never expect what to, you never know what to expect. But I'm trying my best to prepare you for your surprises. Anyhow, let me know what happened, what this new moon brought to your life in the comments. I would appreciate it. It's always interesting to know for me. Other topics is that Now here, like, your partner actually might really get lucky in something. Maybe with your business partner as well. If you are not married, if you don't have a steady sweetheart, if you don't have if you're not in a long-term relationship, then it might be about your business partner. Also, your business partner's finances might double. Another thing is that it might be that banks, like financial institutions, any other financial institution, will approve you a loan for, for example, you're buying a house or you're buying a car, and actually those financial institutions will approve you a loan, and even for more money that you initially asked for more money actually than you initially asked for. Or another thing, you might get a news of funding approval. Let's say you have a project that needs funds from some governmental organizations or non-governmental organizations, or if you're a student, then a scholarship for your studies. If you are a professor as well, you might get these scholarships, or any financial aid. Eighth house is also about inheritance. Inheritance might come out of the blue actually. You won't expect it. For those who are, let's say, who are divorced and never got a penny for their kids, if they're like in between kids, then alimony coming. It might also be possible, and that will be a huge surprise for you, my dear Leos. Also, here, because Uranus is situated in your 10th house, it might be that your father might be helping you financially, or like one-time help, and that will be also quite shocking to you. If you got invested into something like into crypto, into coins, then good returns, you might expect good returns on that. Also, 8th house is the house of conception. If you've been trying to get pregnant, or any other sorts of results that you've been wishing for on your fertility journey, maybe like freezing eggs or anything else related to conception, if you've been trying, this is your new moon, my dear Leos, to try again or to try anew. There is a big chance that you will get it. I mean, the result that you wished for. But let me tell you one hiccup with this new moon, and in general with March. First half of the month, Uranus, planet of surprises, will be in disagreement with Mars. Now, that is a very charged aspect. It will be not talking to Mars. They will disagree about something, my dear Leos. And that aspect will be exact on 9th of March, right before the new moon happens this month. And actually, Mars will be transiting exactly the house that last month on February 9th, new moon appeared, and it will come to exactly that point where the new moon was on 9th of February, on that degree. And when Mars touches, whatever it touches in the natal charts, it activates it in a most realistic way possible, like materialistic way. So here, Mars might be bringing you the news of that new moon. Those who didn't get the news of 9th of February, most of us, we got it because at that time, Uranus was not sending opportunity aspect, but rather was surprising us in a negative way. So we were receiving surprising news, even shocking news. Something new was happening at that new moon of 9th of February. And those of us who didn't get anything, didn't feel it, might feel it this time around 9th of March, because Mars will come to that point and activate the message of that new moon so that it goes further. But you, my Leos, are strong, and I'm more than sure whatever comes up, you will stay strong, and you will deal with that with grace. Anyhow, all other planets will be helping you and performing their best to bring March on a positive note anyhow. And anyhow, this new moon of 10th of March in Uranus is supporting it. And that is most important. It might be some sort of a mixed news, but at the end, you will just look at with the positive side and enjoy it. And in general, I would like to say that new moons and full moons, they are, they don't bring messages right on that day. It's some portion of people might feel new moons and full moons the day that it appears, but most of us, we usually feel it like during 5 days before it appears and 5 days after. No matter which new moon, which full moon, all of new moons and full moons, they act in that way. So allow it 10 days. 5 days before it appears and 5 days after. During this time frame, new moon will give you its message, will bring you its message. And it might be that, yes, it might be before or even after, but some of us will feel exactly on that day, but not all. Okay, let's move and talk about love. Venus, planet of love, beauty, and money, of course, on the 11th of March, will move into your 8th house. Now, that's a financial house, bringing money to your financial house because Venus is money. Might be some gifts from other people you might be receiving around 11th of March. Of course, 8th of March is the Mother's Day. Might be that Women's Day. Might be that you will be showered with gifts. Or you've been you've been having Venus in your partnership house last month, which brought you soft and love, softness and love from and attention from your sweetheart, like long-term partner if you have one, like your spouse, wife if you are a man. Of course, my horoscopes are both for men and women, so if you listen, just interpret it as your wife or husband. And having Venus in your partnership house last month was amazing, my dear Leos. Might be like extra attention coming from your steady sweetheart. And I'm talking about those partnerships that are long lasting already. Also, if you are not in a love relationship, if you are single and if you are, you don't have a husband or wife, then it might be about your business partners. If you've been forming some sort of agreements and forging it and trying to get to sign those agreements with the new business partners or even long-term business partners, like on some new projects or even finding new ones, now will be the time to see the returns from those efforts, like maybe signing agreements, and most probably it will be financial returns. It even might involve some financial money coming to your life. General money coming to your life. By the way, I just forgot to tell you, I would like to mention that this Uranus and Mars, first half of March, disagreement, these two planets, you might go back to my February forecast for Leos and listen what was that new moon all about, and you might understand what kind of topics might come up around their disagreement again during first half of March, if you'd like to know more. Okay, let's continue. Sun, the giver of life, light of our universe, and your ruler, my dear Leos, will move into your 9th house on 20th of March. Finally, spring is here, my dear Leos, and bringing your desire to travel, lighting up this travel house, or bringing your attention back to travel documents, or also illuminating your education sector. And 20th of March, it happens to be spring equinox, when daylight and nightlight is the same amount. So they will finally be on the same length, and after this date, we will get a more daylight, and they will be longer, will be becoming longer. I love it. Finally, summer is coming. I love summer personally. And in summer is your birthdays, my dear Leos. I bet you love it too, more than winter. March 23rd, Mars, planet of action, planet of motivation, will be moving into your 8th house, bringing more action, more passion. Action. Mars is like a planet of activity, you know, it's our desire. It's that fire that is pushing us to move forward, to make things happen. And moving to your 8th house, it might be bringing more action and energy to this part of your life. It's a financial house, so it might be that you will get busy with your tax return papers, or even if you are in investment area, you might be busy with investing into some coins or shares, anything sort of. Or apply to some funding, like governmental funding, like scholarships, if you are a university student, a college student, or high school student. Or if you have projects, you might be busy trying to find non-governmental, governmental fundings, and you might be busy applying to them. Bank errands, also 8th house. It might be quite a lot of bank errands to run. Maybe you will be opening bank account around this date, or taking a loan to buy something. Tax application as well. Also, 8th house is the house of conception. You might be actually undergoing some surgeries in general, because 8th house is the house, like it's a crisis situation houses. Some sort of serious situations houses. And Mars, you know, is a signifier of everything sharp, sharp devices, knives, and it might be that you will be undergoing some surgeries. It doesn't mean that should be some kind of a serious surgeries. It might be just a cut, or so that you will have to attend to it, like medically in a hospital, or some planned surgery that you want to do. And also IVF is here. If you are on a fertility journey, around March 23rd, I guess you will be busy with your intervention, actually, surgical intervention, doing IVF. 8th house is also house of, everything mystical. You might get busy with astrology, numerology, or some other mystical teachings, some concepts. Now, these are all topics that, might come up into your life, but not all of them. Again, I remind you, just few of it might come up. It depends where we are in our life, right? Each of us. And March will be wrapping up with the eclipse of this year, first eclipse of 2024. On March 25th, we have full moon lunar eclipse in your 3rd house. And it will happen at 5 degrees of your 3rd house, and it will happen in a sign which is so blending well with your sign. And those Leos who are born 25th of August, plus or minus 5 days, will feel the most of the message of this eclipse. Eclipses has the power of 10 full moons. So you can imagine, we all will feel eclipse. I will make another video about eclipses, upcoming eclipse, and I will tell you more about it. But for now, I would like to shortly mention that eclipse is like an elevator of our universe. It suddenly puts you up where you should be. Otherwise we would be getting there like in 10 years, spending like 5 more years, 10 more years to get there where we should be now. So eclipse is an amazing tool of the universe to bring us things that should be happening, and you should be dealing with in a fast, sometimes sudden manner. And not sometimes, but mostly. Yes, and as I said, it has power of 10 full moons. All of us will feel eclipses, but the most, those who will be feeling it are those who were born 25th of August, plus or minus 5 days. It will be more or less like fateful events happening in those Leo's lives. And eclipses happen because of the north nodes, lunar nodes, and south node. And, they will be activating your 3rd house this year, and bringing all fateful events to you around the topics of the 3rd house that I'm going to tell you in a second. This full moon lunar eclipse, I love it because such a karmic planet planet of karma, Pluto, planet of transformation, will support it in a huge way. He will be in, how to say, in awe. He will be amazed by this full moon lunar eclipse, and he will support it from your seventh house. Now, seventh house is the house of partnerships, love partnerships, all sorts of partnerships, and seventh house is the house of marriages. It's the house of our long-term partner, not the ones that we start dating, but the ones that we are already in long together. And third house, appearing in your third house, lunar eclipse, might bring into your life several topics. One or two might come up, but not all. Again, reminding. Now let's dive deep into those topics. First, it might be communication, because third house is the house of communications. It might be, maybe you are passing an exam, for example. I mean, you are taking an exam and you will pass it for sure, because Pluto will support you here. And at the end, you might sign some contract even. Or if you've been like studying some courses, especially short-term courses, for example, language courses, then you might be finishing up and getting a certificate and becoming a proficient in that language or any other course that you've taken up. Or like getting a certificate for some sort of skills, like new skills. Now you will have a new skill for the next 20 years. And it might become your, earning source. Receiving some sort of qualification also, like let's say driving. You might have been attending driving courses, and now you will get your driving licenses and pass the test. This eclipse can bring you this topic as well. Another one, it's cars. All sorts of transportation is the third house, like bicycles, motorbikes, or cars. Buying a car or any other transportation seems like a deal there, or like selling it. And if you do buy or sell, you will sell it for the good price and buy for amazing price too. Whatever is your situation is actually. Because seventh house is the house of contractual agreements that Pluto is in. And Pluto will help you to sort of seal that deal. Also, it might be about your siblings or relatives or neighbors. It depends what is your life situation right now. Maybe you are more close with your relatives or neighbors or siblings, if you have them, brothers, sisters, because third house rules them. Maybe you are opening a business with them, like with your brother or with your neighbor or with your relative, any other, like uncles, aunts, or even like cousins. It might be that you're signing an agreement actually for a long time with them. Like it will be long-term agreement, because Pluto is a no-joke planet. It's a long-term planet, and that agreement will stay as long as for 20 years, I guess. It might happen, so that you know with whom you're signing agreement. But according to this eclipse, that agreement will be amazingly positive, and energy is blending so well that it seems like you will for sure know that and trust that person that you're signing with the agreement. Or it might be your partner even, like your husband or wife. Maybe you're opening a business together, like a family business. Signing some paper together, it might also happen. Or it might be even like, what was that called? I think prenuptial agreement. This also, comes here with this planet, with this eclipse. Also, third house is the short distance travels. Some travels might be in store for you, my dear Leos. Also concluding some business agreements. Maybe you will give actually a speech, because third house is everything with speaking, writing, reading. Maybe that you might be invited to give a speech, or actually you will give a speech around this 25th of March. Like on a radio or some talk show, that will actually impact on many people, and that will be remembered for a long time. So mind your words, my dear Leos. Whatever you will say will have a long-lasting and very influential power on a lot of people, so that you know. Now, this was your horoscope for March, and I really wish you the best March possible. And according to the planet, that will be exactly the case for you, my dear Leos. Bye bye.